on? Welcome to another episode of the Sports Talk Eli Podcast. Great to have you guys with me for another edition of Sports Talk Eli. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope pod to try and step to. Oh man, it's been a minute, y'all. As you noticed, your boy got a new microphone. Yeah, so the old one, I feel like I couldn't figure it out really. So it prompted me to replace it, and I finally did. 2 years in, and finally got a new microphone. Yeah, I know, mind blowing, right? I was watching like those TikTok podcasts that would be like mainly about relationships and stuff like that, and they, the ones that would be like, oh, I'm a woman. A man should spend all this money on me and give me all this time, and the ones with the men are bashing women all the time. And like while I'm watching them, I'm like, you know what? That microphone that they're using is really nice. This one is the Samsung Q20. And, it sounded really good when I tested it out. So I was like, screw it. We're going to test it out. But we're going to come at you guys with more content. We're going to be consistent. I'm going to try to stick to a 2-episode-a-week format. Hold me to it, y'all. Hold me to it, please. I beg of y'all. Hold me to it. Go in the comments and spam. Where the videos at? Where the videos at, bro? Where the content at, bro? This just happened in the sports world. What's your opinion on it? That's gonna drive me to upload consistently. I need y'all. I need the Sports Talk Eli Army and to go in and help me stick to a consistent plan. It's a lot of stuff we're gonna talk about on today's episode of Sports Talk Eli. I wanted to talk about the James Harden situation when he first requested the trade, I wanted to talk about it, but now it's just have gotten juicier and juicier. So as we all know, last week, your boy Harden called Sixers general manager Daryl Morey a liar. Now, what prompted him to call him a liar is because Harden requested a trade. Apparently, they kind of had like a handshake deal. Harden took less money in Philly, so Daryl Morey can go out and get some pieces to help them win a championship. The Sixers, of course. They didn't win a championship. In fact, they came far from winning the championship. The boys got bounced out in the second round. Game 7, baby. The Boston Celtics. And after that, James Harden was like, you know what? If you ain't going to pay me, then I'm out. He had one team. He requested to get traded to one team, the LA Clippers. That trade fell through. It completely fell through. And now the Sixers are here talking about, hey, James Harden, we're going to keep him. And Harden don't want to be there. It's a shame to see what's going on in Philly because whenever you think of a general manager and player relationship, Harden and Daryl Morey got to be up there. Daryl Morey got Harden paid. Like, he made a lot of money playing the Daryl Morey ball. You guys remember the Houston Rockets? They fast uptain, they shoot a lot of threes. Harden was a big catalyst behind that and almost damn near won a championship a couple of times. Well, damn near made the finals. I shouldn't say win a championship. But yeah, you guys get the idea. It's a shame to see that relationship fall through. If you're the Sixers, you absolutely positively can have James Harden on the roster in training camp. Harden can't sit out either way because the CBA rules won't allow it. But if you're the Sixers, you have to keep trying to trade this guy. Because you're just repeating the Ben Simmons situation. And knowing Harden, he's definitely going to bring out the fat suit. He's definitely going to have those comments, those post-game comments that he did towards his later years in Houston when he didn't want to beat her no more. By the way, this is James Harden's third time asking for a trade. He requested a trade out of Brooklyn, and he requested a trade out of Houston. And now he's doing it again in Philly. But the question is, what is James Harden's trade value? Like, he's clearly not a second. He's like a second, third option. But what team would really want to take his baggage? He's an Asian superstar. He still doesn't play defense. He doesn't get it done in the playoffs. What is James Harden's value? Did the Lakers try to do a Rui D'Angelo Russell deal to try to get James? Do the Bucks try to get James? Do the Miami Heat potentially make a move? Is there a contender in the NBA that isn't looked at as a contender that maybe be one move away, and that one move is James Harden? I don't know. I'm interested to find out. Like, the saga is like so juicy, and like James Harden got fined the other day because the NBA even investigated his the NBA investigated the fact that he called Daryl Morey a liar. So the league probably did a little digging. Now, another thing I would watch out for if I was 29 other teams in the league is Joel Embiid. He took the trust the process out of his bio. It's clear, the team is always changing around him. Bro might axe out in the future. If you're a team like maybe the Knicks who just need a superstar, I'll be monitoring that Joel Embiid situation closely if I was them. Or any other team that wants to acquire the services of one of the better big men in the NBA and Joel Embiid. All right, so the next topic I want to talk to you guys today are photos I've seen of your boy Zion Williamson. Zion looks good, man. Zion look good. He took a photo. This season people were talking about more other things rather than his on-court stuff. And, he's looking healthy. It was times last season he probably could have played but didn't. And listen, it's your body. I respect when NBA players decide to, listen, I don't feel like playing. If I don't think I'm healthy enough to play, then I'm not going to play. So I'm always going to side with the players of this stuff because you come back, you get hurt again, and then you fumbled the bag immensely because you came back and you just wasted potential. But the Pelicans are an interesting team in my opinion because I feel like they definitely could have made some things shake in the playoffs if they had a healthy Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. That team, at one point last year, they was the second seed in the Western Conference and it looked like they possibly could have did something. And I think they possibly can give teams like the Lakers, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Suns, I think they can give them problems with a healthy Zion Williamson, with a healthy Brandon Ingram, and that rest of that solid crew. So role players and Herb Williams and Trey Murphy, who look like he can take the next step and look like he can become their third option. You definitely still have CJ, who's the solid vet. I really, really, really like this Pelicans team. A healthy Zion and Brandon Ingram definitely makes them one of the better teams in the Western Conference. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys today about is your boy Lonzo Ball. Now, Lonzo Ball, Chicago Bulls point guard, appeared on Trae Young's podcast, and he had something very interesting to say. I'm gonna play the clip for you guys here because we're doing clips now. I'm not reading out the quote. We got money now on this side, so just play the clip.
Involved in that was the most I've ever been involved in an organization, and I finally got the perfect team, that I felt like to fit my game and play my way and really just do, what I wanted to do. So
Lonzo to me, it's unfortunate that he's had so much delays in the injuries and coming out of UCLA and going to the Lakers, I thought he was gonna be special. Now, it took him a couple of seasons to pop. He went to New Orleans, and I thought that was a real ideal situation with him playing with Zion Williamson. That looked like that was Lob City. One thing Lonzo gonna do is pass the ball, and one thing Zion gonna do is dunk. So it's just I thought that was gonna be must-see TV. Listen, I'm praying for his recovery. I want to see him get back to the league. He's one of my favorite players to watch. The thing I'm intrigued to see with Lonzo is how does he reinvent his game after coming back from those injuries? Does he become more of Sean Livingston, where he's who was also a bigger guard, who ate in the post, was mid-range killer, but still a lethal passer and just a really good high IQ player? Because he clearly can't play the same style he played when, before these massive knee injuries where he was just running a fast break and playing defense and all that stuff. So, what style of play will Lonzo Ball adapt? That's what I'm intrigued to see. All right, so coming back for you guys on the other side of this, we're going to talk more basketball, but we're definitely going to talk some football. Keep it locked. Sports Talk Eli. Okay, before we start off these next couple of segments, I gotta plug the Instagram and the TikTok. There's gonna be exclusive content coming to the Sports Talk Eli TikTok and Instagram pages really soon. at SportsTalkEli, where you're going to find maybe some videos that are already done. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming soon on those. So give them a follow. And like and subscribe to the video too, y'all. Like and subscribe to this video too. Don't forget to do that. That's important also. All right, so I'm watching the FIBA World Cup tournament, and I'm following along and reading about it. And I love watching overseas basketball because I like seeing the different styles and ideologies that come in from like watching Germany and watching Spain and watching the Dominican Republic team play. It's always a good time just seeing what they do differently compared to what we in the U.S. do. It's a great time. I love it. And I'm bringing up the FIBA World Cup because I want to talk about I needed a reason to gush over Anthony Edwards, and it gave me that. If you didn't know, Anthony Edwards dropped 34 points to lead the team USA past Germany. And he looked really good. He looked really phenomenal. And I think next year, Anthony Edwards can have a breakout season. Now, you may say, Elijah, he had his breakout season last year. He averaged 24 points per game, helped Minnesota get into the playoffs. They lost in 5 games to the defending champion Denver Nuggets. And he made his first All-Star game last year. I think this is the year where we see him really, truly blossom into that true number 1 option in Minnesota. This is the year when he probably will have a first All-NBA first-team caliber season. I think his 24 can easily jump to maybe 27 or 28. And I think he takes that superstar leap. And I'm basing this off of his time playing overseas in the FIBA World Cup. If you don't know, as my dog wakes up and shakes and stuff like that, most of the time when players play overseas, they play in a tournament, they come back during the regular season and they're dominant. They dominate. There's a new wrinkle to their game. They play a lot better. And I think Edwards can be one of those guys who's going to play a lot better during the regular season based on his time playing overseas. I also put Tyrese Halliburton in that list, but more so Anthony Edwards. Now, my only concern with this take I have is the Minnesota Timberwolves himself. Now, the team was made the playoffs last year. They made the play-in to get to the playoffs. But it still feels like this team is a way away. I feel like Anthony Edwards is up here, and then it's the rest of the team. And there's no shot to the guys like Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. You got a really good vet in Mike Conley. You have a really solid bench of guys like Kyle Anderson. But this team still feels like they're ways away to really being a title contender. Now, they went out and they gambled and they made that trade to get Rudy Gobert to put them in that upper echelon in the Western Conference. And we still have to see if that move pays off for them. There's a lot of people who feel like maybe the Karl-Anthony Towns and the Rudy Gobert pairing isn't one that's going to fit. I want to see how those two look like playing together for a full 82 to see if it does like pan out for them. But I think Anthony Edwards, ultimately, he's the number 1. If you have to either trade Rudy, they probably won't trade Rudy, which leaves Cat as the odd man out in that situation because they traded a lot of draft picks and young assets to get Rudy. But one thing's for certain, Anthony Edwards is that guy in Minnesota, and I think he's going to be the man long term for them. I think he's the guy you rebuild around, and I think if you do trade Cat, you try to get back as much as possible to build around Anthony Edwards because he's a star. Also, shout out to Eric Spoelstra who compared him to Dwayne Wade. He legit said he sees a lot of D Wade in his game. I see a lot of D Wade in his game too. They're both explosive guards who can get to the rim at will. They get strong handle, can play defense. I definitely see the D Wade comparisons when it comes to Anthony Edwards. All right, so I definitely had football topics, but we're gonna save that for tomorrow's episode. This has been Sports Talk Eli. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope sports pod. Try to step to. I'm out. Peace.